Hey everyone, today I'm covering the Retroid Pocket 2S. The 2S is now the third Retroid Pocket 2 iteration, which started with the original Retroid Pocket 2, followed by the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus, and now with their latest, the Retroid Pocket 2S. Inside, the 2S has a T610 chip, with the choice of a 3 or 4 gigs of RAM. This should give us similar but a little bit behind the T618 in the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, giving us up to Dreamcast emulation pretty well, and it may play a little bit of the PS2 and Gamecube catalogue as long as you can keep it to light games and prepare to tinker. The display is a 3.5 inch 4x3 ratio screen at a 640 by 480 resolution, so it's able to play a lot of the older games at a complementary ratio. The price of the 2S starts at $99 plus shipping. Straight out of the box, it's almost like a bit of deja vu with a similar design, but 2S is essentially the best iteration of the 2 line yet. Finally, sporting 2 analog sticks alone, which are 3D Hall effect sticks at that, and both analog shoulder buttons, the design just finally feels complete, which is great. My clear green shell does look a fair bit dark in real life compared to the Retroid's renders, but it's still a very neat finish and feels very similar to the past Retroid Pocket 2 models before it in the hands. The Hall effect analog sticks feel really great. They fit in this perfect medium between being pretty small but have a lot of travel to them, with a really smooth wider top to them as well. They feel super smooth in the hands and are definitely a standout to the control scheme. I wasn't actually expecting the analog sticks to be as good as they are, as they've always felt like a bit of an afterthought to the Pocket 2 range to me in the past, but I now go on to say that they're my favourite of all the Retroid Pocket handhelds. The face buttons controls are a bit soft, but equally they are very responsive and are pretty easy to button mash. The start and select buttons are also placed in a sensible area above the controls, but they are recessed a tiny bit too far into the case, making them a little tricky to press at times. It's also great to see some dedicated Android control buttons beneath the screen, as the relatively small resolution and screen size does make the touch functions a little unresponsive in areas like the corners, so they really do help with navigation. The shoulder buttons and analog triggers are really nice. I prefer them to the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus for sure. The travel is a little compact if I'm really nitpicking, but it does make perfect sense in respect to the shell size of the Retroid Pocket 2S. Ultimately, I do feel like I've got a precise control when using the triggers, and all of these improvements do feel like a significant step forward from the 2 Plus. The Retroid 2 Plus's D-pad does feel very standard to the Retroid Pocket D-pads of previous handhelds, but that's certainly not a bad thing. It has a very retro feel to it, with it feeling pretty loose in the casing while also offering very precise movement and control. I always find it taking me a few moments to adjust to it, but once I have, it's incredibly responsive and a strong D-pad that's suitable for the vast majority of games. So, switching over to the firmware, the Retroid Pocket 2S comes with Android 11 and has Retroid's latest setup process, which allows you to quickly pre-install the most popular apps and emulators from a list, with some being pre-configured or optimized to the device. We also have the latest Retroid launcher included, in case you'd like an emulate style experience over traditional Android. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but supports multiple emulators now and is certainly getting better with time. It's great to see and quite a neat feature for sure. Anyway, I'll cut some gameplay footage now before summarising up at the end. So overall, the Retroid Pocket 2S is certainly the best edition of the Pocket 2 and suitable upgrade. Pretty much all of my gripes with both the original and 2 Plus have been addressed, and other than the front speakers being covered up by your hands during gameplay and the touchscreen being a bit unresponsive around the edges, the Pocket 2S is still an easy to recommend handheld. So that's it for now, thanks so much for watching.